Okay, this is going to be the tutorial on how to change the line weights in your drawing for your personal design drawings. Okay, so now even before we get started with changing the line weights, basically all changing the line weight does is it changes up the lines in your picture. So if you compare this drawing with that drawing, typically when you start off with your tracing with the pencil, it's going to look like this. The lines are all very much the same width, size. This one allows you to kind of like stylize the lines a little more to make the drawing look a little bit more interesting. And we did review on a couple of different ways on how you can change your line weights. For example, and I encourage you guys to go back and take a look at this. If you forgot these pictures, but one example is changing line weights to create space in your drawing. So in this example here, they used the line weights to, they made the line thicker for areas where it's popping out at you, closer up to you, whereas lines that are further back, they're a little bit thinner. So you can use line weights to create space in your image. One easy way to do, and I kind of recommend you doing this for this project, is using line weights to just trace around the edges. So the edges are going to be your thicker lines, and the inside's going to be thinner. So this is going to help to pop out your images a lot more. So you can do line weights with the edges, or if you want, you can do line weights using shadows too. So the light's coming from the top left and the bottom right, the lines are getting thicker. So it's kind of like creating almost shadows in the picture without intentionally creating shadows. So you can see a difference between the two. But it's up to you how you want to do the line weights, or how you want to control your line weights. You have to use one of those methods though for your project. All right, now in order to create your line weights, I'm going to work on this example right here. Alright, so just real important, you want to click, make sure your layers are unlocked for your layer where your outline is. And what you want to do is you want to use the selection tool, click and highlight your entire drawing, and you want to go to Object on the top and Expand. So Object, Expand, make sure Fill and Stroke are checked, and click OK. And after you've done that command, basically what happens to your drawing is each of the lines that you made has now become a shape. So if you look carefully here, if I undo it, now we got a line here. Alright, but if I redo that, if I do that command and go Objects, Expand, and click OK, it's going to change the lines into shapes. So all your lines have now become a shape, and that's what's happened to your drawing. So this example here, I'm going to play around with the using the line weights to create shadows. So just like imagine if my sun was right here. I don't know if you had a black sun, but so you got your sun right here. Now to change the line weights, you have to click on the direct selection tool. So don't use the selection tool, use this one, and you're gonna have to click on the line itself. And I'll zoom in pretty close because you gotta look at these points. So click on the line itself, and then click on the point, and then you can click and drag the point. Alright, make sure you do it in that order, because if you don't do it that way, then your lines may not work. So if for some reason you don't like the way the lines look, you can always do Command Z to undo. But this is where you're going to play around with the different line weights. Alright, now it's going to be real important for this project in itself, where if it's going to be real important that you utilize curves in your drawing, because if you try to have a lot of points in your picture, it's going to make the it's going to be harder to control line weights. So for example, if I kind of click and do my tracing this way, I always say you guys don't do your tracing this way. Always utilize curves. So I'm going to do two examples here. So this is kind of like how I'll do kind of like a rush job on making the shape, whereas this way it's you're getting more of the nice curves that you want in your picture. Okay, so like, just imagine this is like a hand. Alright, but you can see a difference though. If I did the expand here, you got a lot of points, whereas if I did the expand here, it's a lot easier to control. This one you gotta like do more of the individual points to change the line weights, so it's kind of a little harder to control. But this one, it's like, this one you kind of have a little bit more control. It looks a little bit better. You do that, and overall, the more time you spend with the curves, the nicer your picture's gonna look. All right, but yeah, you're just gonna use this arrow, and then just make. So you're gonna click on the point and just click and drag to, make the lines thicker, thinner. So in this case, I'm making the lines a little thinner over on this side, and oops, and then I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker on the other side. Just playing around with the idea of, doing the. Playing around with the line widths with the shadows. Okay, and most importantly, especially like around areas where it's your line ends, you want to make sure to have that sharp edge, so then it looks like a natural stroke with just like imagine if you're doing a drawing with a pen. You want everything to look nice and clean and crisp in your drawing. So you really take your time with fixing each individual line, make it look real nice and crisp. Now, let me undo this. Yeah, I'm gonna move this line right here. So you really want to take your time with it, because you'll see a big difference if you take your time, fix all of the lines, make them more interesting to work on. Alright, so this is kind of like a long, tedious process, but just like when we work with the vector portraits, in time it'll pay off. But if you take a look at the one I did right here too, I really took my time and fixed all of those lines. Alright, but just make sure to take your time, work on the entire drawing. You can start to see how it's starting to, create shape and form. I'll work on this a little bit more. Some of them you just gotta have to do like multiple points until you get the way you want. This one's got like 3 points to it. And then this side I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner. Alright. You kind of get the idea though. Yeah, it's starting to form together. I'm just going to make these edges a little bit thicker. So I'm just dragging them to make the lines thicker. It's really easy to do. Yeah, do take your time though, because I'm kind of working real quick, but you can see like the difference between what I started off with. I'm just literally making the edges really thick. This one's got multiple points. There we go. Yeah.